When an HOA faces a huge repair and doesn't have the cash, someone usually suggests it. Let's just take out a loan. It sounds painless. No special assessment, spread the cost over time. But loans are not free money, and sometimes they cost owners far more than the alternatives. So, should your HOA ever borrow? Let's think that through. Yes, HOAs can borrow money. Associations take out loans and lines of credit, usually to fund a large project when the reserves aren't sufficient to cover it. On the surface, borrowing sounds like the painless option. No big special assessment, just manageable payments spread over the years. But like any loan, the reality is more complicated. Let's look at both sides of it. First, why would an association borrow? The usual scenario is a major, urgent project, a failing roof, critical infrastructure, safety related repairs, and not enough in the reserves to pay for it. Borrowing lets the association get the work done now and spread the repayment across current and future owners over time. In genuinely urgent situations where the work can't wait and the cash just isn't there, a loan can be a reasonable tool. There's even an argument for fairness in some cases. If a project benefits owners for the next 20 years, spreading the cost over time via a loan means that future owners who are also going to benefit help to pay rather than dumping the entire bill on whoever happens to own today. That right there is the strongest case for borrowing. But here's the truth about loans that the painless pitch leaves out. First, interest. A loan means paying back more than you borrowed, sometimes significantly more over the life of the loan. That interest is pure extra cost that funding through reserves would have avoided. Second, there's fees. Loans come with origination cost, legal fees, and administrative expenses. Third, and this surprises people, you'll probably still see higher dues or an assessment anyway because the association has to generate the money to make the loan payments. Borrowing doesn't eliminate the cost, it just reshapes it and adds to it. And there's other considerations too. Loans often require the association to pledge future assessment income as collateral, and they come with covenants, conditions that the association has to meet. Taking on debt also reduces the financial flexibility. If another emergency hits while you're repaying, you're in an even tighter spot. And a community carrying significant debt can look less attractive to buyers and lenders that are evaluating your association. So when does borrowing actually make sense? Generally, in a narrow set of circumstances, the project is urgent and can't be deferred, the cash genuinely isn't available, and the cost of waiting or of a massive one-time assessment would be worse than the interest. In those cases, a loan can be the least bad option. It's a tool for genuine emergencies, not a substitute for planning. When does it not make sense? When it's being used to avoid the discomfort of properly funding your reserves or raising dues. Borrowing as a strategy, a way to keep the dues artificially low while quietly running up debt, tends to cost owners more over time than a steady funding would have. It's the financial equivalent of putting your future maintenance on a credit card. And here's the deeper lesson. The need to borrow is usually a symptom. A community with a current reserve study and disciplined funding rarely faces a situation where a loan is the only option because it saw the big projects coming and it saved for them. Borrowing most often becomes necessary precisely because reserves were underfunded in the years before. So the best way to avoid a bad loan decision is to fund your reserves properly in the first place. For you as a homeowner, if your board is considering a loan, the right questions are, why don't we have the reserves for this? Is this project truly urgent? And what's the total cost with interest and fees compared to a special assessment or a phased approach? And what's our plan to avoid needing to borrow again? A well-run board should be able to answer all of those clearly. Bottom line, borrowing isn't automatically bad, but it's never free, and it's rarely the win it first appears to be. Used carefully for real emergencies, it is a legitimate tool. Used to dodge responsible funding, it just moves a bigger bill into the future with interest attached. For more on reserves and funding strategy, check out the videos that are linked here. Subscribe for more straight talk on HOA finances, and if your board is weighing a loan versus other options, that's what I can help you with here at Aligned Impact. I can help you model the real cost of each path. I'm Jay Boykin. Links are below. I'll see you in the next video.